A big thank you to our sponsor, Factor. You too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Head to factormeals.com/WellRED50 and use the code WellRED50 to get 50% off. That's code WellRED50. That's WellRED50 at factormeals.com/WellRED50 to get 50% off. What's up, everybody? Look who it is. It's Carmen Morales.
Hi.
Longtime denizen of the Skewniverse.
Yeah.
Sitting in for Corey today. Well, except Corey's normally a disembodied head on the screen behind us, like Power Ranger style. Like
I could do that. Do you want me to?
You can disembody your head?
Yeah,
Way better
kind
that
of.
you're here.
I mean, make it look.
But you know, he
that
actually
way.
like. Did you fuck with Power Rangers when it was the first airing? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was huge into it. You remember Zordon, the big disembodied bald head? Like,
Yeah.
Corey, like, kind of sort of
got a
looks like
Zordon
Zordon. I never really thought about it.
Which
but,
one was your favorite? Which was your favorite?
Oh, Jason, the Red Ranger, all the way.
Of course. My favorite was the yellow one
Yeah.
because I couldn't stand Kimberly.
I don't think I had a favorite till the green came on.
Yeah,
Yeah, the bad boy. You like the bad
Tommy
boy.
Raphael's my favorite Ninja Turtle too.
Yes.
The asshole. I get it. Yeah.
No,
I was
Tommy
more of a
was-
Michelangelo guy.
Tommy was rad because he was a heel, and then he did the opposite of a heel turn, did a face turn.
Yeah.
Because he became the White Ranger, the White Power Ranger.
And the first time he had a
I had
joke
a
with that
joke
in
about
it,
that,
and I
yeah.
thought, I was like, dude, that's like Chris Rock. That's the funniest fucking thing I still feel that way.
Well,
then the internet made it ubiquitous,
yeah.
which is the problem with a joke.
I
Like
used to have
Yeah.
a stand-up bit about him being the White Power Ranger, and then I started seeing it in memes on the internet, and I saw like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, okay, I got to stop doing it.
Well, that
Never
happened to me with
mind.
tiny houses being trailers.
Right.
And then every comic also had it too.
Yeah. But I mean that's the thing is when rich people appropriate our poor people culture, then they just make it like, remember, living out of an RV used to be a thing. Now it's like you got to be rich to live out of an RV.
Yeah, when I saw a meme the other day about living in a van down by the river, you know, it was like that was a warning in that sketch.
Right.
Yeah.
That was like, you'll end up living. Now it's like, well, if you save up
You
and
could,
you have 120,000,
maybe.
you might be able to live in a van by a river.
Yeah, if you have enough money for a small home,
You can be the warning.
Dude, a lot of those prefab homes are fire looking though. They are.
Well, those vans are fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of them, they got second floors and all this other shit. It's insane.
You talking about the tiny ones, the tiny houses?
The tiny houses, yes. The ones that are even made out of the shipping containers, and also
Yeah.
the fucking RVs. They're insane.
Yeah.
I did a festival that was like RV people. It was called Descend on Bend, but it was their offshoot, Descend on Pinnacles. And my opening joke was something about how everyone here is like a rich guy who was bored with his life and tried to decide this is what my family's going to do, or someone barely fucking hanging on by a thread, living in, and that got the biggest pop. I just was like, hey, we'll see how this joke does, and it was like they were like, yeah, and we're all friends. Everyone here is super rich or insane and has, creditors coming after them.
Yeah. Either way, criminal or cash kid, one or the other.
Criminal or white collar criminal.
Yeah.
What do you know about the trailer parks in like Malibu or whatever?
Very little. What do you know about them?
Nothing. It seemed like something you might know about.
I've seen them.
I know that they
me and Andy
exist.
have talked
I'm
about
very
'em.
curious about like
Yeah.
where
I've
that
looked them
falls
up.
on that spectrum that you're discussing right now.
I've looked them up. I don't think this has always been the case because it feels like impossible, but they are like $2 million now.
I just don't.
Yeah.
like,
See, that's the right
what-
response.
I know. Like I don't know how. I mean, I live here in Burbank, and like I have kids that are in school, public school.
Yeah.
And I'll go pick them up, and there'll be other parents there wearing like a Vons uniform, which for people who don't know, it's a grocery store. It's like wearing a Kroger uniform or something, or a T-Mobile
Yeah.
name tag or something like that. Just
Yeah,
like
people that still work real jobs.
Regular people.
Regular
People with regular jobs is what I mean. And anytime I see somebody like, I'm always just like, how are you here?
They bought
like,
in
how
02?
do you- Or they just family's always been here or whatever. But I just I look at so many people all the time. I'm like, I don't know how you.
Or sustaining this.
I don't know how you exist here because it's like it's just so absurd.
Does your kid's school have one of those things where they have to allow kids in from other parts
Yes,
of...
but I don't know how it works because we just live right here in the actual neighborhood. But yeah, they do have something like that. Yes.
So maybe they work in this part of town, their kid goes
Yeah.
to school in this part of town, and then they traipse back to poverty land together.
I think that is the case for
Probably
a
that,
number of
and
them.
also getting grandfathered in. I think it's the grandfathering in. when you've lived in this neighborhood long enough and you refuse to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm selling the house I grew up in Clay County, Tennessee, complete opposite end of the spectrum, and like it's I mean, compared to out here, it's nothing. It's a tenth of it, of course, but like even what things sell for there is wild to me.
Yeah, everything's gone up.
Just because it's like gone up across the board.
It's fucking big rock, baby.
Yeah, I saw a statistic. The median home income is now something like 8 times what it was in whatever year they're using as an example, 75, compared to the minimum wage or the median income. In other words, it's not 8 times more expensive. It's 8 times more expensive than the difference used to be.
Yeah,
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, you mean like the amount of money
good.
you make versus how much things cost, like how that used to break down?
Yep, the gap
it's
between
8 times worse now than it was in 75? Right.
Yeah,
That's a better way to say it.
It's a
Everything's
big
8
gap.
times worse.
Yeah, exactly 8 times worse. They did the math. And it is exactly,
Things are worser than they used to be, for sure.
By 8 times.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I was wanting to talk about suicide a little bit.
Yeah, this is my specialty.
All right. So I saw on Reddit a while back, there's this bridge in South Korea called the Mapo Bridge, right? And it's sort of like the Golden Gate of South Korea, i.e., like that is the place to kill yourself at. You know what I mean? Like it's the best bridge around
Hot spot.
for jumping.
You gotta wait
off
in line.
Of.
How do
you
architects
gotta wait in line to
feel
kill
about
yourself.
that? Yeah, right. Take a number.
Yeah.
Like you're at the fucking deli counter. I think architects are excited about that.
So this might be a clue as to the answer to that question, because in 2012, after years of people in South Korea jumping off that bridge, in 2012, the city there renamed the bridge the Bridge of Life and decorated it with all these little life-affirming messages, just little signs and placards and stuff that had life-affirming messages on it. The amount of people jumping from the bridge increased the following year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I'm holding on by a thread,
I know.
Live, laugh, love in South Korean is not going to stop
For
me.
sure. For sure.
If anything, I was like, well, this is the
Yes.
most I'm going to live right
So-
now.
It's
and I'm
ironic, which
loving
is
it.
what all your friends' Chinese character tattoos say.
Right. So, that 100%, I agree with you about that. But beyond just that, some of the messages they put up, they caught a lot of flack for some of the choices they made.
Oh, I cannot wait.
And I don't know if this is like a lost in I don't know how, you know what I mean. This is translated from Korean into English, but this is what they said. Like we had one that said, "Just try it."
Oh no!
Were you lonely because you do not have any parents or friends?
What? What kind of question is that?
Wait until you get older, tisk tisk. Can you even swim?
Holy shit!
LOL. You need to try harder and wake up. All of which were eventually removed. So I don't know, what kind of committee they put together.
I don't know what kind of failed
A Papaw
Hallmark
committee.
author was
Yeah.
writing these, but it seemed like they were on their way out too. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wait till you're older.
Yeah, right,
What's
at
the
least.
appropriate age to kill yourself then?
Yeah. So
Or excuse me, unlife yourself. now. That's the
Oh, yeah, that's
social
right.
media.
Unalive.
Unalive
yourself.
That's the appropriate way to talk to the kids about it.
I've seen that in sewer, like the word sewer-side.
Suicide.
Suicide. Do you know all those rules and stuff? All those like social media rules like that, like those?
Not all
Because
of
those
them.
exist for people, because they'll demonetize you or de-algorithm you or whatever if you
Yeah,
don't
they'll
follow
just
these
kick you
rules.
out.
Yeah, right. So what? So like.
It's usually like cussing and telling people, mentioning suicide or mentioning drugs or mentioning sex. Any of those like just major things.
So, but.
That's why a lot of people beep their videos and stuff like that now.
I know,
'cause
but I'll see things sometimes, usually from him, that is just like the wildest shit. He sent me one the other day of this like little person, Osama bin Laden. I mean, he was literally just like a small Afghani man, but like he was like a dwarf, a desert dwarf.
Hit so hard.
right?
Desert dwarf.
A desert
Perfect.
dwarf. Yeah,
What?
right. A
I
Middle
feel like
Eastern
you guys are
dwarf.
making up new
a Middle
slurs.
Eastern dwarf, right? Yeah.
We were.
Yes, right. who just pulled his dick out, and that was the whole video. He
Someone
pulled
said
his
it to
dick
me, and
out
I thought
and
it hit
shook
for them.
and shook it, and it had like 700,000 likes or something like that. And like I've seen videos of people saying every slur there is on Earth.
Yeah.
And
But
like,
which platform? Because I'm talking,
Instagram.
I'm
I thought
talking
Instagram
specifically
was like-
about TikTok.
Okay.
Because Instagram's looser because it's still Facebook owned.
I always thought
the
Instagram was supposed to be
Wild
one of
West.
the more uptight ones for some reason.
That's because you follow these comedians who keep claiming they've been shadow banned for speaking the truth.
Yes, true. That is true.
Instagram's out to get me.
I've heard that 3 times this week, I think.
There's not a quicker unfollow from me. Because even if it's true, I don't care.
I don't know how you even know that that's happened. You got to like search for yourself and you don't come up.
Your videos aren't doing as well, and you convince yourself
Right,
you're the center of the goddamn universe.
Yeah.
That Mark Zuckerberg's out to get you because he's a fucking Jew.
So
That was ironic, everybody.
if you had,
Instagram.
yeah.
Mark, that was ironic. Don't shadow ban me.
If you were the mayor of
Clip it.
Maypo, South Korea, or whatever, I mean, what would you do about the suicide bridge? Nothing.
I mean,
Just
nets,
Instagram.
right? Isn't that what they do around all the factories?
Yeah,
nets.
but those nets don't pay for themselves.
No, they don't.
Those workers pay for them.
They goddamn right they do.
Well, if you're the mayor, how you gonna pay for them?
That's your bonus, motherfuckers. We put in nets to keep you here. That's your holiday bonus.
I'm taking it to
Throw a big
Instagram.
party, a big reveal party.
Now you can't kill yourself, baby. Get back to making phones.
Yeah,
Instead of pizza.
Yeah, right. Yeah, big holiday party this year. Got a big surprise. You guys are gonna love it. Yeah.
In lieu of your bonus, I know you guys have been making a lot of phones. I get
Not
it.
you,
I hear
Lou.
the complaints.
Not you, in lieu.
Yeah,
right.
Lou's been fucking. You're slowing us down, if anything. But I just to keep you guys all happy in here. I want you to know for this year, for the holiday, for nets, baby.
Yeah.
You're here. You're stuck here, babe.
And we named it after Wong. Don't you guys miss him?
Yeah, right.
Oh Jesus.
Jimmy Wong Memorial
honorary-
Net.
Nothing
Suicide
wrong
net?
anymore, baby.
If I were the mayor, I think I would make it why not make it a tourist thing, like that forest in Japan?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Send the Paul
What's the
brothers
forest in
over there.
Japan?
Remember
There's
when
a suicide forest?
Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember Logan? That was like one of the things that made Logan Paul huge, but in a well, I guess not in a shitty way, since he's just straight up a massive superstar. He went over to when he was like just regular YouTuber. He went over to the suicide forest in Japan and like filmed dead
People killing people?
I don't think.
It's not a murder. It's not a homicide forest.
Yeah, it's a suicide
It's a
forest.
suicide forest.
But he like went over there and it's like
I know,
it's like,
but is he just watching people, filming people?
yes,
It's
and
not
being
a
like,
body.
it's
There or
like
something?
listen,
No, he found a body.
Smash that
shit.
subscribe button, everybody. Today we're going into the suicide forest, checking out this dead guy. What's up? Look at that. What's going on? Like,
What's up,
literally-
guys? I'm here at
Yeah.
the suicide forest. Look we got somebody already done did it.
You're
I mean,
Turns out we got
off.
here late.
Like that's what he did.
He showed a little, not contrition, but he showed a little like, can you believe it? But you're barely
Yeah.
exaggerating what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll never be that guy.
But
Know that.
But the reason
I'll
he
die
knew
poor.
about it is that it is. I don't think it's a tourist trap. It's not like I don't think there's a guy selling hot dogs there, but it's a known thing.
What if it's I went to the suicide
I got
forest
was
and
this-
all I got was
Yeah.
this T-shirt?
That's the bridge. That's what I'm selling T-shirts at this bridge. That great fucking former
Live,
voice of
laugh,
Comedy Central.
unlife.
yeah.
Former voice of Comedy Central.
Don't live life.
Not
like
Rory.
that.
Fucking Kanane. That great Kanane bit.
Which one?
About people
He's got so
when
many.
when you commit suicide off a bridge, why not make it exciting?
Oh,
Wear
yeah.
a Superman outfit.
Yeah.
In with a
Whee!
question mark instead of an exclamation point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that. Yeah, you gonna do it today, dude? Fucking buy this Batman outfit.
Yeah,
Let's
it'll
go.
be your
Everybody,
last
dare this guy to
outfit.
do a gainer.
Yeah.
What's worst case scenario? You hit your head. Come on, dude.
Would you go to the bridge or the forest if you were in the
Oh,
market?
forest for me.
Really? Well, I guess so. Yeah.
It's nicer scenery. I guess no. I mean, I don't mind plummeting.
Pills.
So I like yeah. But you could do that in a forest in a nice setting.
That's what I'm saying.
I do
pills.
pills now.
Pills in the river.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let the river wash me away.
Pilsner.
See, a bridge makes
Pills and a Pilsner.
Fuck yeah, Mama's. That was a great mark. Remember that beer, Mama's little yellow pills. Man, how'd they get away with that?
Oh.
I don't know, but a bridge makes sense because like it's easy to think I'm gonna jump off that if you're in the
It's an intrusive
suicide
thought.
game.
You mean?
But like just there's so many parts of so many different forests that don't say to people come kill yourself here. Do you know what I mean?
most parts, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost
Kind of my
all
favorite
of
thing
them.
about the forest.
Well, that's
Like-
my whole thing. How is it a suicide forest? Is there like a place or it's specifically, or they're like, if
Yeah.
you're gonna do it here?
Yes.
They have like a
and
plaque.
it's like kind of part of their culture. I don't know how it got started. Maybe we could look it up, but like, yeah, it's like, and it's also known that if you are going there, like that's why you go there. You're not supposed to go there, I don't think, for any other reason. And you're supposed to be like,
You're not supposed to go there to like build your following.
no, and you're definitely not supposed to be like, what's up, guys?
You said it's part of their culture, but like they're not doing it with swords, though, right?
No.
Okay. Well, it's in
I don't
Japan.
mean, yeah, right. I don't mean like, the Japanese
Yeah.
people have been doing this for
Seppuku.
years. I just mean that place is known. That's now a known part of their culture.
So I think when you did it like this, it was like in front of everybody or something. Wasn't it?
Was it Harry Carey?
Harry Carey? Harry Carey, yeah.
How do you cut it?
/ seppuku. I don't remember
I
the
thought that
difference.
guy was the
Seppuku.
Cubs.
Yeah, announcer, play-by-play guy or whatever. Yeah, very similar thing.
I thought that was called
seppuku. It is called both. I'm
Seppuku.
pretty sure. I don't know. Don't ask me how, or if there's maybe two slightly different things. But I've heard both words for the same
It's honor.
thing. It's
think it
death
might be- it might
before
be a-
dishonor.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like suicide. It is, but it's not like my life isn't this or that. It's like I have
The
to
motive's
die because
different.
I failed.
But bro,
I guess that is kind of
the
same.
rules they had for dishonor, though, and now I want
Intense.
to preface all this by saying I got this from a book I read about feudal Japan, a novel written by a white Englishman. So,
Take it for what it's worth.
I got some stuff from Wu-Tang Clan. Let's see if our lore matches up.
but to be also fair to said white Englishman, it's like a very famous historical. It's called Shogun, right? It's like a
Oh, yeah, I
pretty
know
big,
Shogun.
pretty big book.
Yeah.
And according to that, dude, you don't just yourself. You like gotta kill your whole family if the right circumstances are right, or someone has to. Like if you got children, they don't get to live no more because you've dishonored like
You got to do the CTE thing.
your whole family.
You gotta kill the line, man.
Yeah. Like,
Not only are you trash, but your kids are trash. Your kids' are gonna be trash. So you gotta end it. You gotta end the line.
there's a part.
Dude,
in
imagine
there,
you're just like an angsty teenager and your dad fucked up so bad you have to die.
and there's a part in there where like, and it's like they don't show the right kind of deference to some lord in a situation. You know what I mean? Like some like
yes, it's just like
little,
our kings.
like seemingly little shit, and then like that dude's
You used the wrong fork at dinner.
and then that dude's daddy is like, go kill all my grandchildren and then yourself because you fucked up, and then they do it.
I mean, that's barely different than the stories about our kings and queens. It's just them instructing kill him and his entire bloodline because I don't like how he looked at my wife.
Yeah, white kings did it because of like threats to their throne or whatever.
Or
right?
their ego.
Yeah.
Which I guess you're saying it is a little different when it's honor, but it feels a little egotistical too. Surely it was abused.
Right.
You know? Kill
I
your whole
assume.
family off. You've dishonored me. How'd I do that? You're more badass than me and I don't like it.
I think I switched sides. I think I'm gonna go back to the bridge. I think I'd rather plummet off of a bridge because you'll be dead. Usually, you die before you hit the water. So,
What, from a heart attack or
yeah,
something?
your heart stops.
Okay, well, if you've heard that, I know you've heard the other little factoid that they always say that every person who's ever jumped off a bridge and lived, every single one of them has reported that they regretted doing it as soon as their feet left the ground or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's the intrusive thought, right? That's the fun part where your brain goes, "This might be a good idea," and then you
Right.
do it, and you go, "No, no, 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 no! I was kidding. I was kidding. Can we back
I
up?"
was just kidding.
We should have
Yeah.
done a trigger warning.
Yeah, that's my fault. I just thought the messages were funny more than anything. But it also, I saw this post years ago I sent to y'all. It had nothing to do with that. It was like some bridge in America somewhere, and the caption of the post said it was a picture of this bridge that had somebody like graffiti all over it, like on a bathroom wall, and there was two messages you could read, and the caption said, "There's two types of people in this world," and one of the inscriptions said like, "Don't do it. You are loved. Call this hotline," or whatever, whatever. And then the other one said, "Do a backflip, F slur," right?
Yeah.
And that's what I always think of when I think of people jumping
Which
off a
side are
bridge.
you?
I already said do a gainer.
Yeah, you did. You literally said it.
We know which one you are.
Yeah.
I would have said pussy though.
If I saw a real person actually going to
Same.
do it, I would
Well,
be
that's
the
different.
former. But if I was like wanting to draw a funny thing on a bridge, it'd be the latter. Because
It's better than wait till you're older, LOL, or whatever they put on the bridge in
Right.
South Korea.
It also might make somebody laugh.
right,
And then they decide
I feel
not
like
to
that,
do it.
I mean, I feel like that could happen to me if I was, walking up to the bridge to do that, and I saw that exact thing written there. It definitely would crack me up.
I guess I could
And it's
see-
weird to jump off a bridge while laughing real hard,
Right. I mean, and if you are, you were ready.
You were
to die.
ready, yeah. Right.
I guess I could see a guy who's got real bad dad issues, and that's part of what's gotten him to this position, and be like, I'm not a pussy. I will fucking do a flip, and I'll show everybody.
Well, it's funny. Then they actually attempt it because it's funny if they fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
Like
live.
try to do an actual backflip off a bridge. Yeah, fuck the backflip up and somehow survive. It's like
That's always brutal to me. I mean, obviously,
Failed
the
suicide
second
attempt?
you aren't successful, and you get all fucked up from jumping off a bridge, I imagine there's regret, but also at the same time, it's like, man, it would be nice if you hadn't have fucked just this one thing up, so you didn't really fuck you up even worse.
Yeah, failing.
Now you're in, failing at
ending the
failing.
failure. Yeah, that'd make me want to
yeah.
Do it again.
roll me off this bridge.
Take down the net. God damn it.
Damn you, Wong. Man, this is dark.
It is, and I don't know where to go from here either.
We can talk about my brothers too. Both the literal one and the slow one.
That's all this was missing, was making it personal. Right? We could make it personal somehow.
Wait, well, guess we could. Have you guys ever tried to unlife yourself?
No.
Oh wow!
My brother took that
definitely
from
did.
me.
Oh, that
Bastard.
sucks. That is true because when my sister passed away, that was one of the first thoughts that I ever had. Was great. Now I can't fucking kill myself, which is like an honest
Jesus.
thing. Not that I wanted to, but it's just like you
You
can't.
wanted the option.
I wanted. Yeah, I wanted the.
Well, you can't after your parents
Corey-
die.
But that's what I'm saying. I would have to wait. But it was definitely one of those like, oh fuck, I can't.
Corey's
Because if
trapped.
both of your kids pass away,
Yeah.
then you think it's you, and I can't have my mom thinking it's her. It's not.
Corey had that same thought when he had a kid. He said that on here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, me and him talked
you
about it
guys
for a
talked about
while.
He was like, he said that like, when he had a kid, at one point he realized it and got bummed out because he was like he had lost the option. Like you said, like he never went. But I
That's
had.
what I'm saying. I didn't want to,
Well, I
but
had-
listen, it's nice for it to be on the menu. You gotta,
I told them I went
It's nice
straight.
to
I
have
went
it on
straight
the
from being like
Creme
in my
brulee.
early 20s and thinking I'm going to live forever and that I'm the shit and I'm a future superstar.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Because I was like that at 23. I went straight from that guy who would never kill himself to having children and being past that. So I've never. As a matter of fact, I'm finding as I grow older, I only grow more increasingly terrified of death. So that's
yeah,
fun.
I've never been scared of it.
Yeah, no, I'm like.
I think I was too close
I
to it
think
as a
about
kid.
it a lot.
I'm in this spot
A
where
whole lot.
I do too.
And it's not good.
I'm in this spot. Well, I used to be afraid of very, very like panic. My first panic attack was because I thought I was going to go to heaven and live forever. And it took me years to work all that out. Like the idea of living forever mortified me. Like I would stand up in school thinking about it and start having a fucking panic attack and then have to like pretend like I had to go to the bathroom or whatever. And as soon as I like almost literally to the day that I'd kind of worked through all that and it didn't get to me anymore, and I accepted that if there is any sort of afterlife, it has nothing to do with me. Like I won't it's not like this I wake up in heaven. Literally, like instantly, it was like, oh, so I die. Fuck.
That was like terrified if you do, terrified if you don't.
Yes.
I remember the night. It was probably during COVID, I imagine, when everybody was all fucked up mentally or whatever. It's like 2020-ish. But I can remember laying in bed because I always just used to think like, there's quotes from people you can read. It's like, I wasn't alive for millions of years before I was born. It never bothered me then. You know what I mean? Or what happens when you die? Nothing. Nothing happened before I was born. I never cared. Like, I used to think that type of shit. But I remember just one night I got like a little too high. I'm laying in bed and I'm just laying there and I'm like, but what is nothing?
What is it?
Like, what the fuck is nothing? And I started thinking about the goddamn universe and everything. It's how there had to be nothing at some point, or there wasn't. None of it makes
Pete
sense.
Holmes got a whole bit about it on his new special
It's good, too.
yeah.
That made me so mad that it was good because I don't.
It's like
care
an
for him.
anti-anarchist bit, as in nothing is something. And nothing can't be nothing. If we can't have come from nothing, if nothing is nothing, because it's nothing.
Right, and my favorite line is he goes, and also you guys are saying you don't believe in any sort of God, so you're saying you return to nothing. Oh, you return to what you came from?
you return
Sounds
to
a
the
lot
creator.
like heaven to me.
Yeah, you return to your creator. It's a great bit, but
That like general thought process is exactly what I used to do, but instead of nothing, I would go forever. What the fuck is eternity? That's what I would do. That same thing. How can it be forever if how does it not have a beginning? How can it not have an end? and then I would like cry, and my mom would have to come console me. And,
You know, all I have right now is that I'm like, I have to get rich enough to purchase the wealthy people immortality shit that hopefully they will come up with sometime in the next 50 years.
You talking about the cryo freeze?
Whatever it is. Just like, you know, I'm saying, like,
fear death, but I also look forward to
See,
it.
I don't. I'm saying it fucking freaks me out so bad lately that's where I always have to land on ultimately is I'll be like, it'll be all right. What I can do is I can just get rich somehow, and then fucking scientists will, you know, 'cause that's like the number one thing. They cured not being able to get your dick hard. Like, bald will be next, and then it's going to be some kind of like live longer pills or whatever.
Fuck climate change. Let's give them hair and live forever.
Well, of course, but that's true though. Like,
Yeah,
they're going to spend more money on those things. So
Can't make money.
I keep thinking like they'll get some youth shit. A youth serum or something.
Sign up for Trae Crowder's Patreon right now and fund his quest to be immortal.
Immortality.
You know, a thing we've never been warned is evil.
Well, it's like I did that. I did that thing at Al Gore's place, and I thought there's going to be adrenochrome or whatever there.
You were waiting
how
on
that's supposed to work, and then
were you pissed?
So
Nothing.
pissed.
Hey.
Couldn't get any.
Let me say this. Do you guys
What
read-
am I working for if not for that?
I know you got to do a thing. This is on topic, and then we'll move on to the commercial situation. Do you guys ever read Ursula K. Le Guin?
I know.
She's my favorite sci-fi author. There's a caption in the last book I read by her that talks about how we all have to accept death, but we should absolutely fear it too and despise it. And I really resonated with me because it seems like people present it as your choices are to be deathly afraid and it consume you and it fuck up your life, or just accept it. Just accept it. And I was like, there's always something that felt off about that. And then I was like, okay, reading that passage, it's like, no, I accept that I will die, and therefore I fucking hate it. I hate the fact I'm not going to be around when my kid's 75. You know what I mean? I hate this stuff.
I feel like it's because you guys have children. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm totally chill with dying. I don't
Good.
want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But if it happens,
I would
fine.
but I've also, I
One less thing.
It's like
one
eating
less thing to
ramen.
do. It's an option. It's my life's been cool enough. You know, that was actually one of the most baller things because my mom doesn't ever really talk about things in a philosophical way, mainly because my dad doesn't let her talk very much because he talks so much. But one time we were in the Bahamas together because I was working there and I brought her with me, and we're just sitting in the ocean. I'm working with another comic who's he smokes enough weed where he's always in that headspace.
Yeah.
What about aliens? What about this? What about that? And
Yeah.
he asked my mom if she had the option, would she want to live forever? And she goes, nah.
Yeah.
And she was like, why? He's like, it's enough.
Yeah.
I think the time we have here is enough. I don't want to do it up more.
I wouldn't want forever at all, but I would definitely want 400 years.
Sure.
400?
For sure. Yeah.
And with the option of at 200, I can be like, change my mind, let's go.
yeah.
And I want him to be healthy.
You want the option to be out.
And I want him to be healthy. Years. I don't want to be 400 years old.
Well, now you're getting particular. The whole
course.
thing is life. There's no guaranteed on how things going to
Yeah.
work.
Right.
So I say, however long I got, I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Plenty of people that didn't, and plenty of people lived too long. So
Do you think you're better than us?
no,
You are.
I think I'm chill.
That was the joke.
I agree. Yeah. That's just, you got the
No,
right
no,
kind of
no,
brain.
no. This isn't a competition. I'm just saying that's the relationship I have with death. But that's
healthy.
because I've been talked to about dying or have my life threatened since I was little. So my relationship with death it's not scary. Just because it's been presented as scary so much now that I'm disenchanted by the fear of it.
You've seen the horror film too many times.
I guess, yeah, or the same kind of thing. If you clean up dead bodies enough, it becomes less gross and more. Look at he's flicking you off. There's that. There's
Gallows humor.
the slow not being scared of it. Or the longer you're. I mean, me and DJ have talked about this. The longer you're in prison, when the riots happen, it goes, hey man, hand me that guy's bread. He's not going to eat it. You just get more comfortable with the idea. It becomes less scary and more just it's another thing.
Yeah, you said, hey man, guy's bread, he's not going to eat it. Sometimes, you got to make choices when it comes to what you're going to eat, right? So this holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on these jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with that healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos. If you're too busy with holiday plans to cook but want to make sure you're still keeping on top of your diet, well, with Factor, you can skip all the chopping and prepping and all that and still get the nutritional quality you need. They all take just 2 minutes in the microwave, fresh, never frozen, and they hit 2 minutes universally across the board. It comes out, it's hot, it's good. You don't have any stress over meal prepping. You can get it done quickly and still feel good about what you ate. If even that is too long for you, they also have lunch to go options at Factor. Effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers that you can take with you on the go. No microwave required. If you're watching your calories, they have dietitian-approved calorie smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. And they also have a protein plus option if you're trying to bulk up this winter. Drew, you've been getting Factor lately. I mean, I've been getting it for a while. I'm a huge fan, but what do you think about it?
Well, I've been doing the keto ones, and I haven't been able to be keto all the time, but it's nice that I can do it for those meals. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, today we're low carb in it. Have 2 of these back to back. They're tasty. I like them. I'm a sauce man. All their keto meals have great sauce.
Oh, I love a good sauce.
There's no dryness to them, you know, and I dig that. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan.
It's nice that we've gotten growth in them. If you're going to listen, like, going back to what we were talking about before, if you're going to die healthy, first of all, 1.
For sure.
And then 2, I love the evolution that we've had where you can have quality food made quickly. Because before, it just used to be like a lean cuisine or a kid's cuisine where it was like, this is all chemicals for sure. And corn. They would just give you chemical meat and corn and a very disgusting brownie.
Yes.
And now you can have a proper meal with actual healthy, fresh ingredients, cooked easy peasy, quickly, mickly. Come on.
And if that sounds good to you, here's what you can do. Go to factormeals.com/WellRED50 and use the code WellRED50. That's WellRED50 to get 50% off. That's code WellRED50 at factormeals.com/WellRED50 to get 50% off. Try it now. Factor hits. Although I got to say, I do like chemical meats too.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's merch. What he was raised upon.
Yes, I'm a human garbage disposal. I like potted meat. You know, like trailer pate, the potted meat in the can. It's like you spread it, it's spreadable pig offal that you can put on a cracker.
The devil ham.
Deviled ham.
Deviled ham.
That is one of them, but there's also one that's just literally called potted meat. They don't even tell you what kind of. It's just called potted meat.
Get that one at Save-A-Lot.
Yeah, and spread it on a cracker or whatnot, or Vienna sausages. You know those?
Oh yeah, I thought
Vienna.
They were. I thought the Vienna sausage.
I mean, they definitely are, but I've never heard anyone growing up call them anything other than Vienna. And I don't know how
those
to
were so gross. I tried to eat them. I can't. They're
Imagine
so nasty.
serving one to someone in Vienna.
Yeah, right. That is funny. Yeah.
That and the ice cream, the old Breyers ice cream.
Yeah.
Viennetta. Yes.
Yeah.
That, dude, the height of luxury, bro.
Seriously.
I've looked for it.
I remember watching that.
It's in Spain. When I was in Spain, I saw it. That's the only place
that commercial,
I've seen it.
I remembered it one time when I was like a teenager, and I was like, I wonder if that was good. I could afford that now.
I bet it wasn't bad.
Sure,
I mean, how could it have
ice
been
cream.
bad? Yeah.
How crazy is it that like things like that, just everyday products were symbols of luxury, symbols of opulence.
Dude, this Supreme?
Yeah.
It
Still happens.
Grey Poupon.
Oh, yeah. I always thought that was fancy.
Oh, but you mean
because
specifically
it's like,
food items.
Well,
Yeah, that's not really happening as much anymore, but now it's fashion.
It's all came out of like the 80s and everything, right? With like fucking all the consumerism and greed, like being rich hits real hard. Of course, being rich is always hit, but like people became aware of it and thought they could be rich. And so it's like, let's make people feel rich with ice cream loaves and fancy mustard that cost $4 a bottle.
And the adrenochrome from a baby.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. It was you wanted to eat like at least if you weren't rich, you could at least eat like the rich. But the rich weren't eating fucking Viennetta, Breyers. They were definitely not.
I mean, ironically, they were eating closer to like probably not peasants, but like people from the fucking 1500s, because it was like, yeah, they're eating something that was raised without chemicals, just meat and potatoes. You know what I mean? There was like way less processing going on.
Oh, they also. You ever been to a real fancy ass restaurant? Because I haven't. I'm talking like 3 Michelin stars, like super high end. You had like they got like foam and shit.
Yeah. Or they do the little steam, and you have to smell a thing and bite a thing and then drink a thing.
But the foam ain't fake, is it?
No, it's not fake.
No, I just don't. I love food. You know, fat kid, always have been, but like that. But I also don't like uppity shit.
You don't like the experience because that's the whole thing. Is the point of it is supposed to be like multi-sensory.
Right.
So it's like this smells adds to this that you bite and then you drink this and that it brings it all together. That's supposed to be the idea.
And
but
it
that's
landed for you, you bought into that.
Did you smell your own farts?
You did it. You went with the experience. You're like, no, this did hit for me.
Well, here's if I'm gonna go watch a guy that thinks he does the thing in the best, and he's one of the best in the world, you know, and the meal wasn't that expensive. Like I'm not spending $1,500 on a meal. It was multiple. It was like $250 or something like that. But when you have a guy that's like, this is what I do, and I do the best at it. It's like going to see what you think is the best stand-up comedian to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out with that in mind. This guy thinks he's the fucking best. I want to see what you think your best is. I want to know that.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It was yummy.
That they also, speaking of like having the like fake rich people stuff where it's like you're trying to trick people into thinking they're eating like the rich or whatever.
Yeah.
They also have that in like the fine dining world now. They got all these trendy restaurants where it's like it's clearly bullshit but they're trying to fake being like that type of dining experience. And it's the ones where it's like you go to Miami, you order a tomahawk ribeye and they bring it out in a suitcase that lights up like the one in Pulp Fiction, and it's a bunch of dudes in tuxedos like dancing around and there's smoke machines and shit, and it's like I don't think the fucking
they're trying to
Archduke
justify
of
how much they're
Monaco
charging
is
you.
doing this.
They're not.
You know, right? Yeah, like
You would have had that guy killed.
right.
That's the new money versus old money shit.
Exactly. Sure.
That's
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing is like when we're talking about richness, that's kind of where I want to be. Is I only want to be rich enough where I don't have plastic in my food, and that's not that rich. It's still pretty fucking rich in this country, but it's not that rich in the grand scheme
I
of
think you just need 80 grand in the bank to be able to move to Portugal right now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you got to keep it in there for a full year in one of their banks, and then after that you can take it out and you're a full.
I love Libsyn. I'm going.
EU citizen.
They'll just take Americans like that?
Oh yeah, they need people to live there. I mean, anybody. It's not necessarily just Americans.
This is a little bit of the danger, although they're protected by the EU, so it should be fine. I mean, they don't have a lot of money in their banks, so like. There's the caution a little bit of like they're asking you to put your 80 grand in there and leave it because they're going to invest it.
Yeah. Well, I'll be damned. I didn't think we could go nowhere right now. I thought everybody was like, no thanks.
Well, a guy at that van conference I told you guys about told me this, so take it with a grain of salt.
No, it's a real thing.
According to Don, who lives in his Tacoma.
Yeah. They got it in Greece. They got it in Italy. It's all of these smaller little townships and little villages that like everybody has left and gone to bigger cities. And
it's the whole country of Portugal is my understanding.
Yeah.
In Italy, they pay you to move to tiny towns.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think you got to get citizenship on your own there. Mm-hmm. Like maybe they'll help you, but like this, my understanding is like you sign up for the deal, you show them the money, you pay for the processing fee, and you put the money in the bank, and you move there, and you live there, and if you don't take that money out at the end of it, they make you a citizen, and then you're a fucking citizen of the EU, dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Dual
can't believe people aren't
citizenship is
doing
where it's at. Because I want to be able to easy peasy levy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. For sheezy. I just couldn't. I mean, but we couldn't. None of us could do that, though, right? I mean,
why wouldn't we be able to?
No. I mean, like, they got a club in Lisbon or whatever? Like,
they do. There's like a lot of expats.
Isn't Lisbon in Spain?
No, that's
Lisbon's in Portugal.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the capital. Yeah. Thank you, Aaron. But I mean, but surely it's not.
But
like,
you could hop over to London and stuff, right?
Yeah,
that's
but
the whole thing about traveling. They're super easy. You can easily do it. Tom Rhodes did it.
But if you had,
years.
Tom Rhodes was very famous in Amsterdam because of that mushroom bit he did.
Yeah, he had
he was also
a late
night show. Yeah, he was famous because of the late night show.
No, they gave him that show because of that bit. He like went viral before going viral was going viral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, well, all right, I don't know. I mean,
do it.
It's possible. It's possible. It's just difficult. That's all. So it'd take more work.
I feel like there's a trickle-down effect of information, too. By the time Tacoma Joe told me this story, probably the program had ended. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he probably heard that from a cool hippie in, like, 2017.
Yeah.
Because they can't keep that going forever.
No.
Because then people will just buy citizenship. Mm-hmm. And their goal is to, like, have families move there.
That's pretty presumptuous that you think that many people have 80 grand to just throw into.
I was going to say the 80 grand in the bank part is, like, obviously such a massive part of it. And it's smart on their part, too, because it's like, hey, no fucking trash. All right, only people with some class. You know what I mean? Have $80,000 in the bank and be able to leave it there for a while. I don't want fucking garbage people coming over here.
Would they kick you out if you went down to 79,000?
Yeah,
you think they're like you get deported?
Yeah,
more people than you think probably could have 80 grand in the bank.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's still a good cutoff, I think, you know.
Still, I agree, but I'm just saying if 10% of Americans could do it, that's a lot of people. If 5% of Americans could do it,
well, you also got to think though. I feel like if you have 80 grand in the bank that you like 80 grand that's just sitting there that you could just put in an account and leave it like you're saying you have to do.
Yeah.
If you have that in this country, like you probably don't want to leave, right? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Since you're not spending it though, it'd be great to get that dual citizenship. Since if you're not, because you get it, it's not like you're giving them 80 grand. You just have to not touch your 80 grand for a year, right? That's a good fucking deal, man. Because you don't have to leave America. You just have to leave for a year.
It's kind of like,
but that is leaving America for a year.
Dude, worth it. If I had it.
Wait, okay, hold on. You have
I'd be saying sayonara.
Because you have to live there for a year.
That's what I was about to say. You have to leave the money in the bank without touching it for a year, and you have to live there for a year too. And at the end of that, you get a passport, a Portuguese passport.
That's my understanding. Again, I don't even know if the program's still going on.
Portuguese.
But I do know that because you got to live there, so then you got to be able to pay rent there without, leaving or whatever. I guess you could probably go on tour. You go to my OnlyFans, check out OnlyFans/Drew Moore Comedy. That's one way I could potentially make some extra cash.
Yeah, I ain't selling no tickets in Lisbon, dog. No,
but you could probably tour.
Yeah, well, there's way more flat rates over there too.
Dude, I bet Katie could talk shit on the internet in Lisbon.
About what?
I don't know. Just feel like she could.
But you'd be surprised. There's a bunch of expat places where Americans go and perform. And,
I was just who was it? I wish I could remember. I was talking to a comic recently who just got back from Europe, and
it was probably Tiffany Haddish. Trae's like, who was it? I was talking to?
No, definitely was not Tiffany Haddish.
By the way, can we talk about that? Have you talked about this on the podcast yet?
No, I haven't. I mean, it just happened Sunday. Yeah, we can. So I just. Anytime I talk to a comic who has come back from overseas doing shows and stuff, they always say that it's almost entirely expats at most of these shows that they're doing. So it's like, because I just think about going over there, whatever. Like we talked too sharp about doing shows in India or whatnot, and you think it's like, fuck it, I don't speak Indian. That's not even what they call it. You know? It's like it's Farsi or it's not right. Either Urdu. What is it? Who knows? Anyway, certainly not me.
Relatability is the baseline for a lot of humor. So it's like, how am I going to connect with?
But
this
it's like all expats in most of these places. So you
could relate a lot. Like you guys left America. Goddamn, me too.
Yeah. So this past Sunday, I went to the NASCAR championship race in Phoenix because I was at Stand Up Live in Phoenix on Sunday night, and I got an email from NASCAR like 2 weeks before. They're like, we saw you're going to be in town, and like some executive at NASCAR is a fan of mine. They were like, you want to have VIP passes and meet the drivers and do all this shit. And I almost felt kind of bad because it's like, white trash redneck from Tennessee or whatever, and I've never even been to a NASCAR race. Like I've just never been.
Well, yeah, because you want to talk about a symbol of opulence.
Yeah, you can't afford it, son.
I mean, but my papa was like, he's been dead since I was 18, but he was like, he literally like built and raced stock cars in the 50s and 60s. He was super into all that shit. So I just felt like, I was like, yes, of course, absolutely, I'll do that. That's incredible, thank you. But I also felt like, pretty fraudulent the whole time. Then we get there, they gave me a +1, and one of my best friends who Drew knows, just a regular guy, civilian that I used to work with at my old day job. He's a huge NASCAR guy because he's from North Carolina, and it's like their birthright over there in North Carolina. And he's single, no kids, got a good job. So I was like, hey, you want to fly to Phoenix next weekend and do all this shit? And he was like, hell yeah. So he came with me. He knew everybody and everything. He's pointing out people. He's like, that's Richard Childress. Or you know who Richard Childress is? He's a NASCAR owner.
Should have went with Dickie Childress.
He's like a Jerry Jones of NASCAR, right? Like that. He was doing that type of shit.
I've heard of Childress racing.
Yeah, right. Well, he's that. He's the Childress. And so Bryce, my buddy, was doing that all day. He like knew everybody's pointing.
So that was the perfect person to go with.
Yes.
Because then you could learn while you're there, while not having to know everything while you're there and feel like a complete tool.
So
he legitimized you. If you ever get invited to Burning Man.
And yeah, right. Yes. That makes total sense. But I was we had like a guide with a NASCAR person with us all the time. Had these VIP passes. They took us into a hauler. I always want to like over
y'all went in a hauler
because it sounds so much like holler, like live in a but like a like
Hall, H-A-U-L.
Yes,
hauler.
Yes. It's like I was doing that all. I just can't say it without feeling like I'm saying the other word. But yes, the vehicle that hauls their cars and gear and shit. That's their whole base of operations. We went into this driver, Austin Dillon's. We went into his hauler, and we were standing back there talking to his driver, and they were showing us all the shit and whatnot. And they were like, "Austin will be in here in a second." And I hear him just like cracking the fuck up in the like front of the hauler. Like I can't. It's just you hear like muffled stuff and like
Big
riotous
laughs.
laughter.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I was like, the fuck. And also, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be able to follow whoever the fuck that is. You know what I mean? I was like,
Man, who's killing? God damn it!
It's like 10:30 in the morning. Also at this point or whatnot, and he knows. It's like I'm not fucking. You know, I was sitting there like, well, I hope he's.
Trae's an emo girl.
I hope he
till about 11.
Yeah. So I hope he's got all his good laughs out here because. But I had no idea who it was, and then he like strolls out or whatever, and they go to introduce him to me, and then behind him is fucking Tiffany Haddish, who of course I recognize immediately, and then but the imposter syndrome like kicked in hard because I was like fucking me and Tiffany Haddish are the two people in here doing this. Like how the fuck did that happen? This don't make no sense. And I'd never met her before. I'd seen her. I like. Went to that. I did a Zoom show of yours during the pandemic, and I'd been at a Black Lives Matter thing earlier that day, and Clayton English was there, and he did it to her. She was at that, but I didn't actually like talk to her or nothing. So this is the first time that I met her, and she was like, you know, super cool. She's like, "Hey, I'm Tiffany," you know, and like that type of thing. Where it's like, "Yeah, you're hugely famous." Then we walked out of the hauler, and walking up to us was fucking Dion Cole.
Oh, he wasn't even with her?
No, I don't think so. He was like. It seemed to me as though they did not know each other were going to be there because I saw him walk up and he was like, Tiffany, what the fuck? You know, like, so it didn't seem like they were together. No, but Dion Cole, who if people listen don't know, like, great comic Blackish from.
That's a show he's on, everybody.
Yeah,
he's on Blackish. Well, Blackish is a hugely famous show, to be fair. So
he's Blackish.
He's the, Old Spice guy.
Yeah.
And anyway. So yeah, he walks up and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" But and then
were they doing like some kind of?
Yes. So that was. And so I said, I'd already introduced myself to Tiffany, and then Dion comes up and I was like, "Hey, I'm Trae. I'm at Stand Up Live tonight." And he was like, "Oh hell yeah, right on." And I was like, "You guys, what are you doing?" And I thought maybe they were doing something together. I was like, "You guys at like the arena or something? You're at the Sun's place or the theater or whatever?" And Tiffany was like, "No, I'm in my bed tonight, right?" And I was like, well, what are you in town for? Are you filming something or whatever? And she was like, no, I'm doing this. And so they have celebrities come and do like she rode in the pace car before they started, cool. And she like waved the green flag and all. She was like the celebrity ambassador or whatever. So she was
nice.
She was like there just for that. I don't know. It wasn't clear to me what Dion was
like a personal appearance.
Yeah, it's like welcome our whatever everybody, Tiffany Haddish, and you know, and she so
and then Dion was just there having a good time.
I guess I don't know. I got just but
it's funny to think that that NASCAR's strong right wing, potentially racist fans would be way less offended by her than you in the pace car. We were fucking blood traitor.
We were driving. They walked us up at like when we first got there. We were going over to all the haulers. We're in this little golf cart and we're passing by. You know, like people camp out in RVs and shit in the infield of these NASCAR tracks.
That's it. It goes wild in the infield.
And we were like driving down through there, and Bryce was with me, and he's like, "You think anybody here's going to recognize you or whatever?" And I was looking, and we're passing all these RVs, and I saw like 7 "Let's Go Brandon" flags in a row or whatever for these RVs. And I was like, I really hope not, buddy. But yeah, I had nothing to worry about. But that was part also what they did was that also, dude, the whole time, because like all of us, me, Tiffany, Dion, whatever, whenever they took us anywhere, like we went into the driver's meeting, which there's a red carpet that leads in there, right? And all these people line up to get autographs and stuff from the drivers, the NASCAR fans. The drivers walk down through there, but they also take the VIPs through there, right? Mm-hmm. And so like, and I think she was telling me this to like make me feel better or something, maybe, even though I didn't even bring it up. But the girl we were with said that like, they oftentimes don't have a clue who literally anybody is. Like I think
except the drivers.
Yeah, they were like, she was like, like when we had Morgan Wallen, who's a country star, she's like, people would get excited, but I wish I could remember who it was. She named some big famous actor who had just been there doing a similar thing, and she said literally no one knew who they were because they weren't in like the NASCAR,
because they weren't in the show Yellowstone.
Exactly. Yes, actors from Yellowstone, other athletes, NASCAR people, country music stars. Those people get recognized there. Everybody else, they're like, who the fuck is that? So like, but yeah, I'm walking down through there like actively trying not to make eye contact with anybody because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing on this fucking red carpet either. I apologize to all of y'all, but. You just reminded me of a quick story from my week. I hung out with the truckers this weekend for Homecoming West, and I told you a little bit about it this morning, but I forgot this. I was like in the front with Earl in front of the railing, and I was uncomfortable because there wasn't really enough room for us. I ended up leaving, but this woman goes, "Hey, congrats on the baby," and I did the reverse where I was like,
"Oh, that's not for me."
No, I knew it was for me, but I was like, who are you? I was trying to figure out who this person was.
Right. Yeah.
It was just a fan, but I was like,
yeah, like she's like one of the truckers people that's always around that we've met before.
Yes. I was like, I should know your name, but I don't. And I was like, no, I shouldn't know your name at all.
Yeah.
So I never expect anyone to.
I do have to say, for the record, though, like, I'd always heard over the years, like, now you got to go to a race. It's great. And, like, it was fun, especially having that experience. But this was, like, the championship and everything. Like, the actual race part, it played for me pretty much the same way, like, watching on... It's like, I mean...
They just driving in circles.
I respect the drivers, and I respect everything that goes into it.
Yeah.
Because I know they'll do anything to shave a tenth of a second off. They're like world-class engineers. The drivers are high-level, like, endurance athletes and shit with what it does to your body. I respect the shit out of all that. But, like, just watching it, they're just kind of driving it. And, like, being there didn't really change how I felt about that, frankly.
Well, yeah, because you weren't in the party part of it.
Yeah.
You weren't in the party part of it.
Yeah.
You weren't down with the Let's Go Brandon guys.
But that kind of makes this point, too, where it's like, yeah, I'll go to a party.
Right.
Yeah.
But if that's what's fun, then it ain't the race.
I mean, I would go back for sure because it's still
I'm going to go
fun.
to Bristol.
And they said
Bristol's more fun from what I understand.
It's supposed to be the most fun.
It's supposed to be the most fun. Yeah, that's what people say.
And it's like where I'm from, East Tennessee.
But apparently it's counterintuitive because this was the last race of the year. The championship was decided on Sunday. But it's actually... I guess to a lot of race fans, Bryce was telling me it's like one of the lesser races of the whole year because there's only 4 people who are actually in it, but they make them all run it. So like 30 of them are like just there, or they're like 30 of them are just phoning it in because they're.
Do you not get any money if you come in 5th?
Maybe, but they have a lot of them are teammates with the guys who are in it.
Oh, so they're shaking and baking.
So they just kind of like hang back and just like it's kind of an understood thing like. Only these 4 dudes are like really trying today.
No one's doing any slingshotting like
right. So it's like kind of ends up being kind of boring. I guess.
Yeah. So you didn't get to see the most action-packed one.
Well, Daytona's like first or second race of the year,
and it's like the Super Bowl, right?
I never understood that part.
Me neither, but that's what Bryce told me. I said, I was like, this is a championship, but this is not really like the Super Bowl, right? And he was like, fuck no, Daytona's the Super Bowl. And I was like, but that's at the very beginning. He was like, yeah. And he just left it at that,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No further explanation needed. Yeah.
I swear to God, Bobby Labonte was one of the at one point he pointed and said, that's Bobby Labonte.
I know all the names from when I was a kid because my uncles and my dad were very into it. It was like, we hated Jeff Gordon. You either liked Richard Petty or
Richard
Dale.
Petty. Richard Petty was there.
And I'd have freaked out a little bit at Richard Petty.
I mean, it was wild seeing him, dude. He's 86 years old. And
Jesus.
Because he's got such a distinctive look. He sort of looked exactly the same for 40 years or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, he was there. That was rad. Dale Jr. was there,
Yeah.
Like, I got, like, from me to you to all these people, but I didn't bother none of them. Bryce he was fist bumping everybody. And they were doing it, too, They were,
well, hell yeah.
That's nice. Everybody was sweet.
Yeah.
Bryce was acting like they probably thought he was an investor or something.
Yeah, because most of the people back there are that. They're, like, corporate sponsors.
Yeah, but put Liquid Death on the side of that car. You better.
That's what 90. It's either, like, drivers, like, family or whatever, or it's, like, corporate sponsor people. And I know he had a handful of whatever the hell I am.
And he had his nicest Eddie Bauer on, so they really thought Bryce was
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, Carmen, you want to plug some stuff? It's about time for us to wrap up, or am I wrong? Are we pushing up against it?
We're definitely not up against it, but we can. But we can totally begin to wrap up. Yes, thank you, Carmen, for sitting in for Corey today. But yeah, plug some shit.
Absolutely. The first weekend of December, I will be with Chad Daniels at LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio. Yep, San Antonio. So make sure you get tickets for that. Also, I will be in Naples, Florida.
Captain Brian's.
Hey, I don't remember if that's it.
Remember when
I think that is.
Remember if you've been
I think
to
it. I know. I have been,
right.
but I think that's what I said yes to.
Yeah.
But November 21st and 22nd, I'll be at Captain Brian's.
Isn't it also the town? It's not just the. Isn't Naples like?
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
Not a fan. It's just like a lot
all
of
new
real old people.
Okay.
And
which you'd think would be great for us, but it was just fine actually when we were there. Drew flew to the whole wrong side of the state and had to drive across Florida and barely got there in time for the show.
I did do that.
That
and not like oh, this will be fine. I was like, are we not in Miami or wherever I thought we were? Like, well, I better rent a fucking car.
Wow.
And then I think I slightly broke my arm that weekend. Do you remember that?
Oh, you fell? Yeah, I didn't see it.
I fell in front of the whole staff.
Yeah.
And like it was one of those where I fell so hard it scared them, but they thought it was so goddamn funny. And then the next day, because we were there all weekend, I was bruised from here to there.
Corey, I was in the back. I hadn't left the green room yet. Him and Corey had already walked out of the green room, walking through the kitchen. It's slippery in the kitchen. I hear this big loud crash, and then I hear Corey start going, Trae, get in here, like, but happy, you know what I mean? Or he's like,
you're missing it.
You're missing it. Yeah, right. And then I hear other people be like, is he all right? Whatever. And I walk in there.
It was hard.
And but yeah, I didn't.
So you probably just fractured it.
Yeah, the
then
hairline
let it heal.
situation.
Yeah, and you healed incorrectly somehow.
Yeah.
Sorry, did we cut you off?
Oh, no, that's fine. Listen to our podcast. Drew and I have a podcast, Gravy Baby, with me, him, and DJ Lewis. Listen to that. Follow me on all the assorted social media at The Funny Carmen. And that's about it. I have a little set that came out for Comedy Central. Please watch that.
Nice. I'll be in Chicago this weekend at the Den Theater. Then I got San Francisco coming up, Northwest Arkansas, and then me and Corey will be
doing the
Grove.
Yeah, I like the Grove.
I like the Grove too. I'd been in Northwest Arkansas a bunch of times, but hadn't done that club because the owner. Then I did it last year, and the owner told me. I brought that up. I was like, I didn't even know this was here because like. Before COVID, I went to I did Fayetteville, Bentonville. You know, we went there like every year, basically. And I was telling him, I was like, I didn't even know this was here. This is a nice club, you know, whatever. And he told me, he was like, yeah, I turned you down a few times. I just didn't see it. He was like, but, you know, I'm.
Wow.
He was like, but I realize I made a mistake now, and I'm going to go ahead and book you for next year, like immediately, because you know he was. But yeah, he just told
me. He just said that.
He did, yeah.
He's one of those guys, dude. I don't think he's self-aware at all as far as that regard.
He's like, yeah, I got pitched. I got pitched you a couple times.
Blurry.
I didn't see it.
Blurry-brained.
But anyway, but the weekend went great, and yeah, I'll be back there soon. Then Zanies, that closes the year out. Some other shit coming up in 2024. TraeCrowder.com. Me and Corey's book, Around Here and Over Yonder, is on there too, or you can get it on Audible. And keep watching me on the socials and stuff. Go ahead, Drew.
I will be in San Luis Obispo this Thursday. That is November, the 9th? Mm-hmm. I will be in San Francisco the weekend after Trae, so that's like December 7th, 8th, and 9th. Mm-hmm. I skipped on November 30th. Please come to the Comedy Store for Culture Court. We're going to tape it. It's going to be a fun fucking show. And then, like Trae said, we got Zanies. Real quick, if we do have time, speaking of club owners, I love this story. Our fans have heard it, but I don't think Carmen has. Carmen, have you ever done Spokane, Washington?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we should say, because I was just there, and I was there last year too. The people that run it now, it's different than the story he's about to tell.
I think you should tell. I think you're better at it. Plus, it kind of happens.
So first of all, Spokane now is great. It's part of that collection
conglomerate.
Of clubs.
Comedy store conglomerate that started.
Got Appleton. The one in Appleton,
Bricktown.
They got one in Louisville now, Tacoma, Spokane, and
mm-hmm.
I think all those clubs kick ass. I was just in Spokane and Tacoma like 2 weeks ago, but before that, years ago, like 7 years ago, 2016, we went to Spokane for the first time. And I don't even remember if it was that club and then the club got bought, or if it was a whole different club. And this one, I don't know, but it definitely was not the same people. I know, because we went to this club in Spokane. And we met the owner briefly, and he seemed like kind of confused or something. He seemed sort of weird, but he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, gotta be here, whatever. And then a little bit later, we asked the staff like where he had gone. We were like,
oh, where'd the owner go?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, what happened? What happened to Bill or whatever? And they're like, oh no, he had to go. We were like, oh, because he had mentioned he was going to be here. It was no big deal or whatever. They're like, yeah, well, what happened was, so he actually didn't really know who you guys were, and he thought that WellRED, he's like, he thought you guys were indigenous comedians. He thought you were Native American comics, like, because they would do that. They would name themselves, like WellRED skin, basically, is what he thought it meant.
No.
And furthermore, he didn't know what you actually do, and he's a pretty big conservative. So when he put it together, what you guys actually are, he kind of got pissed off and got in his car and left.
Wow.
So again, we'll make it very clear that is not the club that's currently in Spokane, which I love. Totally different people, and years ago. But yes, that's what they told us. That's what the staff told us.
What a daffy twat. He doesn't even know what's going on in his own club.
Yeah.
Daffy twat.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That was great. Daffy twat. Mm-hmm. It's got like a British sound to it, Daffy twat. Okay, that'll do it. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, all right. And, okay. Thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do.
I can't get that now.
Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew. Skew. Whoop.
This episode is brought to you by the new book, Round Here and Over Yonder, written by authors Trae Crowder and Corey Ryan Forrester. That's ya boy. The book is out now. I would like to thank everyone who did the pre-order, but for those of you who were like, you know what, I want to wait and actually go to a bookstore and pick this thing up, well, you can do that right now. Round Here and Over Yonder, a front porch travel guide written by two progressive hillbillies. Parenthetical, yes, that's a thing. We love long titles, but we love making you laugh even more. This book is chock full of jokes. We chock-filled it too. It's got a bunch of jokes in it. It's really, really, really fun. We tried to take the stereotypes of certain regions, talk about what they are, talk about what they got right, talk about what the actual reality is. Of course, we did it with our own little region here in the South. We went everywhere else in the United States, and for the first time in our lives, we went to the UK. It's Rednecks Abroad. The book is Round Here and Over Yonder. Not to brag on us, but I will. It is hilarious. Pick it up now wherever you get books. And by the way, we narrated the audio version if that's how you want to digest it. But there is no wrong way. Round Here and Over Yonder, wherever you get your books. Do it at an indie bookstore. I like that more. Don't tell Amazon, though. Bye.